What the Friday? Hey, what the Friday? It's Friday. 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 Greetings, royal family. Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of the WTF show. All right, so hopefully your Friday's going great. Got a couple of hot topics that I wanted to touch on, bring to your attention so that we can kind of, get down in the comments and talk about it. So let's not waste any more time. Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get straight into it. Orlando Brown. Did you guys hear about this? Orlando Brown, who was he's a Disney star. He was on That's So Raven. We seen him in Family Matters. He was in Major Pain. So he's a child actor, basically. He recently went on to social media and he claims that Nick Cannon, yes, Nick Cannon, Mr. Incredible, gave him oral sex as a female. God, some people should not have social media, man. Seriously. So Nick did respond. So Orlando Brown was trending all over Twitter because of this. So he made a video that Nick performed on him while possibly dressed as a woman. This article is according to The Blast, but this was all over social media. So I'm sure you guys heard about this nonsense. So he was walking through the aisles. Orlando Brown was walking through the aisles of none other than Walmart, ladies and gentlemen. And he recorded a 34-second video announcing multiple times over and over again, Nick, you blanked my D. So he kept saying this in the video. Oh my God, Nick had to respond because this actually made its way to World Star. So Nick definitely did respond. So in the full video, I don't know if you've seen it, it's just a video, of him repeating over and over and over again what Nick did to him, what he's alleging Nick did to him. So I'll spare you. I'm not even going to reiterate anything that he said. So Nick Cannon, he did laugh off the accusations and he pretty much kind of like focused on mental health. He didn't focus on the accusations that Orlando Brown made. He talked about mental health and struggles and support. So this is what Nick Cannon said. This I'll read. It's worth reading. When I first saw this, I thought it was effing hilarious. This is Nick's statement. This is what he says. But then after putting a little cognitive effort and analytical thought, okay, Nick, you taking psychology classes? To the situation, I figured what a great opportunity for a teachable moment. First off, let me say I am praying for the young brother Orlando, even though I don't really know him personally. I have always loved and enjoyed his talent and have been a fan of his past work. He was brilliant in Major Pain, and he had us all laughing in That's So Raven. But this is another crucial example of when we allow our young artists to be prematurely exposed by this demonic business and left out to fend for themselves. Nick goes on to say, we need better support systems for our youth and take care of our own. I watched various of this young brother's videos. It's not proper English, but okay. And I see a cry for help. So he went on to basically ask, fans to embrace Orlando Brown and others who struggle with any sort of like substance abuse or have been diagnosed with psychiatric disorders. So I think that this was a beautiful statement from Nick. He really could have tore into Orlando and like not roasted him because Nick, he doesn't come across as that type of guy, right? But he could have really got angry and he could have flared up and he could have called him all types of names. Let's put it that way. He could have shamed him, all of this other stuff. But, he did choose to take the high road and I definitely respect that. But, Nick didn't deny anything though. He didn't confirm or deny. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Now, I do remember seeing Orlando Brown back in the day on an episode of, I think it was a 2-part episode of Dr. Phil. And that show, it was very hard to watch, to say the least. It was very hard to watch. He was not making any sense. he said that I remember him saying that Michael Jackson was his father. He couldn't recollect how many children he had. And it was sad. I didn't even watch the entire thing, and I just don't even know what to say. When I first saw this, I'm going to be honest, I laughed. Okay, I think I told most of you, if you're accustomed to visiting my channel, I laugh at just about everything. You know what I mean? Because I do find the humor in inappropriate situations. But then when I actually seen the video, I just said to myself, man, I laughed again. And then I said, you know, this guy is either doing things for attention, or he really has a undiagnosed mental illness, or both. Now, one of the mothers of his children went online and said that Orlando is doing this strictly for attention. He's playing crazy. He wants to stay relevant. I mean, that very well could be true. I think it's a mixture of both, to be honest with you, because when he was on Dr. Phil, honey, woo-wee, he could barely keep his eyes open. He was incoherent. It was just all bad. I wanted Dr. Phil to stop taping the show and admit him into a rehab facility right then and there. So I like Nick's response. I think, you know, sometimes you just can't pay attention to crazy. And Nick has a lot to lose. Orlando, not so much, no shade. But I think that Nick should he gave his statement, and I think he should leave it alone. If Orlando continues to make these accusations and Nick denies them, then I think that he should, you know, he should suffer some consequences. Because, listen, if you have a mental illness and you choose not to get help, then you have to suffer the consequences. If you're clout chasing and you're just trying to stay relevant and get attention at the expense of someone else's reputation, you should suffer the consequences. I'm just saying. Color me corny, I'm just saying. But I mean, I did get a little chuckle, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So hopefully Orlando Brown, if he is prescribed medication, he may need his meds recalibrated, and he leaves Nick alone. Because remember before, he said that he was, what did he say? He said that he got Raven-Symoné. He was in a relationship with Raven-Symoné. He got her pregnant. She just kind of ignored him, and then it went away. So hopefully Orlando Brown will go away, you know, and just get some help. All right, up next, on to something not a little bit lighter, I guess just as bad. Martin Lawrence, he says that Tisha Campbell's lawsuit against him caused him to leave Martin. So this is old news, but it is resurfacing. I don't know why. So he's opening up about, you know, why the TV show Martin, my favorite TV show, came to an abrupt ending. So in 2018, Lawrence and his co-stars, Tisha Campbell, Applehead, and Tashina Arnold, insert name here. Martin had many names for her on this show. They reunited for the first time in 2 decades after Tisha Campbell's lawsuit against him. So in 97, Campbell's suit claimed that she experienced obsessive mistreatment of Lawrence, including repeated and escalating harassment and also threats. So Martin, he denied all of this. Like I said, when this came out, it was known that Tisha Campbell was the reason, for lack of a better word, that the show ended. Some people thought that the show was canceled, but it actually wasn't. I think at the time it was Fox's one of the highest rated shows. So Martin is just saying like, look, because of these claims, I decided to walk away. So he did an interview with GQ magazine, and he claims that that's the reason why that the show ended. Martin aired from 1992 to 1997. The interviewer asked him, like, you know, what happened, what ended? And then he just says that, like, he said, I'll say this, it was just time to end. So Martin is trying to, like, not say anything. He did, however, say that the allegations that Tisha Campbell put out are BS. And he said he doesn't care whose side of the story it is. He doesn't care whatever side it is. It's all BS. But he did say that he has love for Tisha, and it's all good. They don't have any beef or anything like that. And I'm just a little bit confused. So he said he decided to walk away from the show. He just decided to end it. He said people claimed that it was canceled, but that was not the case. I decided to just leave the show. He says all is well now. You know, he says he has a relationship with Applehead, and there's nothing bad he has to say. So he says, I love Tisha. You know, I've seen her here and there. And it's nothing but love. I have nothing but love for her, and I always have. This is just all weird. Like, nobody is admitting to anything. No one's saying anything. It's just all up in the air. And I just want to know, what do you guys think? Like, how did this situation even resurface? Like, is this coming back up because Martin has a movie out, Bad Boys for Life, which was a great movie. I should do a movie review. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, it's worth it. Definitely, definitely worth it. So I don't know. And like I said, this info came out years ago. And Tisha Campbell, she recently was on, I don't remember which daytime talk show it was. I don't know if it was Sister Circle. I think it might have been Sister Circle or The Real. Anyway, and she said that she couldn't really go into much of anything or into detail because of a gag order that's still in place. She said, but it's all good with her and Martin. And she said that she was shocked that Martin is denying what happened. So I'm saying to myself, if you have a gag order, isn't that saying too much? Like, you saying that you're shocked that Martin is denying what happened. Isn't that pretty much like you saying that he did these things? So I don't know. Like, again, I'm really confused as to why this is resurfacing. And it's so funny because a couple of my college pals, they were asking me if I knew about this. And I'm like, where the heck have y'all been? I heard about this before I even met y'all. Before I even went to college. Like, what are you talking about? So I don't know. Maybe some people didn't know. But again, I don't understand why this is resurfacing, this story. If everything is all good and if there's a gag order set in place, I mean, just no one should be talking about this. I don't know. This is just all weird. This whole climate is just weird with all of this, you know, with all this assault. It's unfortunate that it is people. First of all, it's unfortunate that these things have been happening for so long right under our noses. You know, the true stories, not the fabricated stories, because let's keep it real. There are a lot of true stories. There's also a lot of fabricated stories. Not necessarily this one with Martin and Tisha Campbell, but it's just so weird. How did this resurface, y'all? Let me know if you know. So, yeah, I don't want to stay on that because I remember the last episode of Martin. Oh, my gosh. I was like, how is this show coming to an end? Like, it did start to get weird, though. Like, the last season, you can tell that Martin and Gina were filming in two separate locations. You remember Gina, she moved to L.A. because she got a new job, and Martin was supposed to be moving out to L.A. and leaving his life in Detroit behind. And remember the last moments. This is so bad how I remember this. Actually, it's not. When he signed the wall, remember? And he led with the marker and he walked out. And I was like, I can't believe this show is ending. But we have reruns. So I watch Martin pretty much every day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. Let's move on. Nene Leakes. Woo-wee. She cannot stay out of the press and in social media, right? She's had a rough week. So Nene Leakes allegedly will lose millions if she quits the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So she has not asked to be let out of her contract yet, right? But if she wants out, she will lose 2.85 million. She'll lose that salary, $2.85 million. Whew, this is what an insider told Radar Online, okay? Now, if you guys don't know, Wendy Williams and her big mouth, she announced on her show earlier this week that Nene sent her a text message saying that she is quitting. But Nene denied that she's quitting, and she went on her Instagram and said, you know, she was upset at Wendy that Wendy blurted this out and why. So Nene has 2 more years left in her contract, right? And she also has a non-compete clause, okay? Now, what that means is, a non-compete clause is, if she decides to end her contract before the 2 years are up, she will not be able to film anything on any other network at all. For how long, I'm not sure. So she really has to fulfill this contract for her future career, you know, for her career or any future things that she's going to have to, that she may come into. And also for that paycheck, $2.85 million. So she'd have to get approval from Bravo. That's what it is. She'd have to get approval from Bravo to film anything. And if she quits abruptly and they lose ratings, they're not going to be so quick to approve anything that she wants to do after that. So, yikes. Yeah, so the insider is saying basically that Nene sent that text message to Wendy out of frustration with Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she's upset about like the edits this season. And it makes sense. It totally makes sense. So if she feels that the editing is unfair, listen, if you watch the show, then you know Nene was suspended for 3 episodes. And then we don't really see her in a lot of the episodes after, I guess, the ones where she was suspended. The first 3 episodes, she wasn't even in it. And when she is in it, she's barely in it. It's just weird. Like, man, Nene, I really wish that you could walk away scot-free because they are playing you. So she just feels like she's being used for ratings. Of course, duh, you know, and Andy has had everyone on Watch What Happens Live from Real Housewives of Atlanta, except for Nene. I didn't even realize that. Thus far this season, he has not had Nene up at the treehouse. So what's that about? So, and you know, remember Andy picked on Nene's dress, saying that she wore the same dress that she wore at another event. Oh, the dress that she's wearing in her confessional was the same dress that she wore the last time she was on Watch What Happens Live. Andy is just, he gets on my nerves. So she's pretty much tired of all of this favoritism, these secret alliances. Like I said, if you watch the show, you see it whether you want to admit it or not. So the source pointed out that Nene is ratings for the network, and she's a household name, and the episodes that she is in are the highest rated. Now, I did a video recently talking about when Wendy spilled the beans about the text message that Nene sent her. And I did say that I wonder if they're doing an experiment of sorts, not having Nene in certain episodes to see if ratings either increase, decrease, or stay the same. And it's so interesting that I read this earlier today and see that they obviously realize that Nene is ratings gold. When she's on there, the ratings are high. When she's not, the ratings are low. So it seems like now they are begging her not to quit because they want the ratings, right? That's the long and short of it. So she declined to comment to Radar. That contract, man. If she leaves, she'd have to get approval from Bravo. Even if she wanted to do work on a completely different network, Bravo would have to approve. Ooh, and you know how Nene is. Nene, she got her pride about her. She doesn't want to have to ask anyone for anything. So I do feel that she should step away from the show, but leaving will hinder her career and her future projects. So I know she's sick and tired, but I don't know that. What kind of contract is that, girl? I wonder if there's any type of loophole in her contract, because 2 more years, like, does she have 2 more years in her? Like, do we want to see Nene on the show for 2 more years? And I like Nene, I do. And she's got a lot of scandal going on. You know, there's talks about what Greg was doing right before he got diagnosed with cancer. So when that story comes out more, maybe I'll touch on it, but you guys can go look up that information. So I don't know, Nene. We'll see how this plays out. But it's good to know that Bravo is basically like, no, we don't want to lose you. So then treat her better then. And stop editing her out of certain scenes and stop acting like, you know, you can do without her, because numbers don't lie. So if when she is on and the ratings are high, then you already know what side of your bread is buttered, if that's how the saying goes. I don't know. I'm rooting for Nene. All right, moving along to Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. Remember, she got into that bad car accident? Well, she pleads not guilty in the hit and run case. Not guilty. So her attorney entered this plea earlier this week in Los Angeles, and she is due back in court on February 28th. So she was arrested back in October for allegedly crashing her car into a parked vehicle in Beverly Hills, California. So she was issued misdemeanor citations for a hit and run and delaying, hindering, and resisting an officer. So no one was injured, thank goodness. She wasn't injured either. And she was formally charged earlier this month. So what I don't understand is not guilty. Is that, I don't know. I'm not a connoisseur of like legalities, but isn't her flipped over vehicle proof that this happened? So I don't like, what are you pleading not guilty to? Maybe she's pleading not guilty to resisting arrest or delaying. I don't know. Can someone please help me understand why she would plead not guilty? And is there some sort of legal loophole that I'm not aware of specifically in this case? So I just thought that was weird. I'm like, why would she plead not guilty? Maybe, who knows? It's evident that you flipped over your car, sweetie. Moving along. 50 Cent is doing a kind deed. So, you know, he took time out of terrorizing Tierra Marie for more money. Can you believe that he is going back to court and requesting more money because she has not paid him? What sense does that make, 50? I talked about this on a previous What the Friday video. You know, Tierra Marie has not paid him the money that he won in court. So he's going back and forth to court. This is like the second time, I think this month, that he's gone back to court and requesting even more money. So 50, how you're not even getting the initial, I think $20,000 or $30,000 that the judge, you know, ordered Tierra to pay. So what do you, Tierra girl, set up a payment plan? He has the money to go back and forth to court. But I think he should be held in contempt because right now you keep going back and forth to court requesting more money and you haven't even gotten $1 of the original settlement. Anyway, so he found time to Michael Rainey, Tariq. Michael Rainey is the young man who plays the character Tariq on Power. So 50 found time to get security for Tariq, aka Michael Rainey, aka Tariq, because he's receiving death threats on his social media. So he received over 300 threats against his life in his DMs. So 50, he's stepping in and he's offering Michael some extra security. I can't call him Michael Rainey. His name is Tariq. Anyway, so he's one of the most as you know, if you watch Power, make sure you check out my Power reviews on the channel as well. Thanks. So he is like the most hated character on the show right now, you know, but some people don't know the difference between like actors and reality. So they sent him a lot and they were very upset. They're very upset this season with him. So they sent him hundreds of death threats in his DM. That is crazy. And they're all upset because they think he's a suspect in the shooting or the murder of Ghost, which is another character on Power. So I'm totally confused by this. And he says he sees all the memes, he sees everything, all the videos that people make. And he just says that it's cool to see how in tune people are with the TV show and his character. He said, I don't take what people say seriously. I laugh at it all. Now, this is according to Media Takeout. So they spoke with a person close to 50, according to Media Takeout. And they told Media Takeout that the entertainment mogul has provided Tariq with security, and they asked the insider how long they expected the security detail to remain, and they were told indefinitely. So I just, that's so sad. First of all, it's good to see that 50 is taking this seriously. I'm not shocked that this is happening to this young actor. People really are willing to fight over these fictional characters on social media. Ask me how I know. Oh God, like I just posted on my Facebook recently, like you could just unfollow me. You know what I mean? Like it's starting to get annoying. You have the option to unfollow people, but I will not go off on a tangent. So it does prove that people refuse to use logic, like, and they just want to be angry, they want to fight. So yeah, the people sending him these DMs, they should be held accountable somehow, honestly, because it may not seem serious to some people. And I'm sure some people will say that, oh, it's not that serious and not that serious. But I don't think it would be wise to wait to see who isn't serious versus who is serious. Because if someone is serious, they may try to do something to him. So I understand. Tariq gets on my nerves too, but I'm not sending him any death threats in DM. And you people are so stupid because this information is recorded. Like, duh. Just yell at the TV like the rest of us do. I don't know. I hope that this is not true. And no one is sending him death threats. Do I believe so? Yeah, probably. Because people get passionate about TV shows that they like. But like I said, it's good to see that 50 is actually taking this seriously. And he is stepping up and ensuring that this young man has security. And then I thought about it, it's 50. I mean, yeah, he may have a heart, but 50 is protecting his investment because I have a strong feeling that Tariq is probably going to be in the spinoff. So he don't need, little Michael Rainey getting hurt or anything like that. So he's probably protecting his investment. That's terrible that you have to think of 50 like that, but it's 50. So, Royal Family, I didn't intend to keep you guys long, so I just wanted to come on and share a couple of hot topics that piqued my interest for the week. Make sure you return or check out the channel. Every single Friday we meet here, and I pick couple of shenanigans and foolishness and hot topics to bring to you to further discuss. So you already know what to do. If you are a returning Royal Family member, make sure you hit the thumbs up button on the way out. And also before you leave, drop a comment in the comments section. Share your thoughts. I would love to hear your feedback on any of these topics. And I usually meet you down there in the comments anyway. So Royal Family, hopefully your notifications are still on. Hope you have a happy, healthy, safe, productive Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. You may spill your drink. Royal Family, I love you for watching. And until next time, peace.